Channis, Whiteman. For those of you that don't know me, my parents are Edward Posey Whiteman Jr. is my father. My mother is Carol Benz Whiteman. And my grandparents on my mother's side are Robert Benz and Clara Hill Benz. And my grandparents on my father's side are Edward Posey Whiteman Sr. And my grandmother is Josephine D. Crane Whiteman. And I'm the oldest of 5. I'm the oldest grandson on my mom's side. And my grandparents, Robert and Clara, helped raise me along with my great grandmother, Agnes Yellowtail, there. And from that, I'm also the oldest of 5 siblings. I have 1 brother, 3 sisters. We were raised in the Pryor community. And me and my wife, we have 3 daughters, 2 grandkids, and two godsons that we look after and take care of. My reason for filing for candidacy. I'm a candidate for the Crow Executive Branch Vice Secretary for the Crow Tribe. I've been on the outside looking in, and I believe that the ideas I have and ideas I can present to the people of the Crow Nation, the executive branch, and the judicial branches. One of my goals is to maintain effective public participation to strengthen communication, build trust, and work together. My work credentials. I'll start from when I was younger. I was a drug and alcohol counselor for the Thunder Child Treatment Program. I worked with adolescents. And in my younger years, I had my battles with alcoholism, and I put that aside, and I've been in recovery for 31 years now. From there, I moved on to another job. I'm working in Europe as my job title was a performer and stuntman, working in Europe in Paris, France. From there, a work credential I built up was a lead Indian, and I helped kind of break trail, created more jobs at that site at the Euro Disney for other Crow Indian horseback riders. After coming home, I went to work for the Crow Head Start program. I was a teacher, co-teacher, center supervisor, social services coordinator, and a disabilities coordinator. And from that job, I went back to school. I went back to work for the Bureau of Indian Affairs, BIA, as a forestry technician. Work credentials I built there were Type 4 IC Incident Commander. I worked with the Helitech module. I was a Helitech squad leader, Helitech squad member. I was a project leader for some prescribed burns on a Crow reservation. And also a crew boss, firefighting crew boss, taking crews out on dispatches. After leaving that job, I went to work at Spring Creek Coal Mine for 11 years, Cloud Creek Energy, Rio Tinto, and Kennecott Energy. There I worked for 11 years as a heavy equipment operator, a truck driver, and I got my mine foreman certificate there. And after that job, I came back to work for the Crow Tribe at the transportation, same job as a heavy equipment operator and truck driver. Moved on to another job in North Dakota for a little bit. Went back to coal mining for the Westmoreland of Solid Mine for 2.5 years. Aside from that, my education credentials, I graduated from Planting Coos High School. I went to Northwest College in Powell, Wyoming for 2 years. And later on in my life, I went to school at Pablo, Montana, Sailors Kootenai College, and I completed their highway construction workers program as heavy equipment and truck driving. My other personal goals, as far as the questions that were asked to the candidates, my personal issue with these questions, the question that was most important to me was the trash on a reservation. Me and my slate, my team, we've met with people who can bring money in through grants and provide more equipment through the grant money and keep it going. Buying trucks and possibly looking into developing our own landfill under the EPA guidelines. We as a team were looking at those avenues at distance from the dump sites is what we're looking at. Like trash here in Crow Agency, we could probably take that to the landfill at Sarpy. And for other communities further out, the dump sites in Pryor, St. Xavier, Fort Smith, Wyola, Lodgegrass. We're going to have to take a really good look at those and see how we can get this taken care of and listen to the people and see what their suggestions are and hopefully come up with a solution to that plan. And the other question, part of that question was the children and the elders. Being a former Head Start employee, I've seen how Head Start is very beneficial to the families in every community on the Crow Reservation. We have grandparents taking care of their grandchildren, raising their grandchildren. We have a good way for the Head Start program to help each community, from the ones I just now said, Pryor, Wyola, Lodgegrass, Fort Smith, St. X, Crow Agency, all communities. Build centers, keep the Head Start program going and keep these kids in school and help them with their development, and reach out to all the parents in each community through the Head Start program, and also the employment part of it. Got bus drivers that need to get back to work, teachers, qualified teachers. We got qualified teachers. And we'd like to see that program come back to us and get people involved again. And the other part of the question was the water infrastructure and the water systems need to be upgraded. There's a serious need for upgrade there, and we have been in contact in our slate, the new era slate, and we've been talking to people who know how to go through proper channels, bring in money to develop our water systems and give them a good upgrade. And the other question that came up was the state of the finance of the Crow tribe. In a new era slate, we've looked at bringing in auditors. We look at a forensic financial audit, see where we are with our money, where we need to go, what programs we need to move forward on. And my thoughts on a Crow Tribal Constitution is I've seen a transition from the 1948 Constitution to the Constitution of 2002, and knowing how to exercise each of the laws and bylaws and keep good communication between the branches from the legislative to the judicial, and do our best to find common ground we may have our differences, but we can find common ground and work through each of these issues that come up with both branches, all these different branches of our government. And the other question I'd like to look at was the buffalo situation. My dad worked for the buffalo pasture before, and anybody who's worked there knows where there's a certain amount of buffalo we can keep in our pasture, and some we gotta sell and just keep that maintained. And we gotta find good, experienced people who know how to manage our herd, and they're out there. We got good people who can take care of the herd. The other question that also came up is the housing. Now, housing, we can keep good communication, arm's length communication with the housing, and make sure we try to develop. Our goal is to try to develop more homes for people on a reservation, and look at keeping houses renovated up to task. And the coal, working for 2 coal mines. Worked for the Cloud Peak Energy, Kennecott Energy, Rio Tinto, and working at Spring Creek coal mine. As looking at how coal is kind of going away, and we need to look into different ways of developing other resources, and timber. And some of these aren't going to happen right away. They're not going to happen overnight. So, and as far as one thing I needed to bring up too is the people we've been talking to as far as taking care of the trash on the reservation. The team we've talked to, we have a team of 3 grant writers, and we have a time frame of 6 months to get this grant in order. So we're looking at 6 months to a year to get our dump sites back in order, improve them. The other issue that come as far as the elders was paying back getting our elders paid on time through the 107 monies, the elders payment, and look at if we can reestablish the 107 committee in each district, all of the districts that we had before. Moving forward, we hope to get in, and then as my goal to keep this good communication, to be visible to the people, keep an open ear to them and an open mind to their ideas, and keep moving forward. The other state of the finances we were looking at too was we have a plan for the general fund. Speaking with my team, the New Era slate, we've got a budget there, and looking at whether we're gonna, after the audit, if we're able to pay back the employees or not. That's something we're kind of looking at, and looking at the debt, what we have to pay. And one of our main goals too is to hopefully get back to opening our casino, taking care of the debt we owe there. And I know people want to get back to that casino, and finding out where we can put our new tribal building. We don't really know where to report to when we're speaking to some of our tribal officials, and getting ideas from the legislative branch on where we need to improve and get better. And also visiting with the judicial branches and holding elections there. And that's when the next terms come up. And improve on the laws where the judicial branches see we need to improve on laws pertaining to the legislative. The legislative can help us and the judicial find common ground in improving our laws on the reservation. And the other thing I've been hearing from people is working in each community, visiting each community, and getting out there, visiting the people, going and seeing the people. And the dance halls on the reservation is one thing we've been looking at too. The Bighorn District has their dance hall. We want to get to work on that and do any renovations if we can. And a dance hall in the Pryor District, and help out the other districts with their community centers. And keep all those intact and make sure we can provide the money for that. And the former administrations, one of the former administrations bought the Battlefield Express. We've been looking at possibly franchising stores because that store is doing pretty good. It's paying for itself. And we're looking at possibly opening stores up in Pryor, Wyola, and Crow, because we don't have a gas station there. And we're hopeful to get that going and kind of develop a franchise through the Battlefield Express. Proceeds or the profit we've had from the Battlefield Express in the past, our one of our administrations also paid that out per capita at one time. So that's one of the best things we've seen happen here, is buying that store. And what other thing we need to look at is our social services programs, enforcing the Indian Child Welfare Act. We've had some issues there that took place. We need to put that right in the store, make sure that none of our young Indian kids, our youth, are taken away from their homes here on the reservation and taken off. Find good foster homes within the boundaries of the reservation. The other questions are the other natural resources, the state of the finances, Crow Tribal Constitution. Another thing on the Crow Tribal Constitution is there's some bylaws we need to look at, some of the responsibilities that pertain to the judicial, responsibilities that pertain to the legislatures, and make sure we exercise those and keep hearing from have more open meetings, open discussion, and include people. And as far as the Constitution goes, keep the people included. Where in the past we've had some meetings that were the Speaker of the House called for executive session, and that's something I'm against, because I believe that closes the door on transparency, it closes the door on democracy. So I need to keep the people involved in these meetings. I really don't want to close the door on anybody. And if voted in, good leaders in the past have listened to everybody, anybody and everybody, is what one of my elders told me to, is to keep this campaign going to anybody and everybody, and if voted in, I want to keep that same open-mindedness to listen to anybody and everybody. And one good leader from the past, he brought in people that were on maybe in opposition to his slate, to his administration, his or her administration. But I seen him listen to those people and work it out, find a solution, and if they needed help, that those leaders help those people, no matter where they're at on voting. So that's what I wanted to continue. And the other issue as far as the Constitution is just keep developing it, keep adding good whatever we need there, bylaws, revisit a lot of the constitutional upgrades that we might need. The most important thing for the Constitution that I see is just make sure we're available to the people. I can't stress that enough. And listen to every legislature that's out there. Listen to their ideas, keep things going. And don't be keep a deaf ear on anybody that's voted in. And get feedback from the judicial part of it. Because I believe when this Constitution first came in, where some of the requirements there for the judges are we need to look at the criteria there, make sure the judges are paid accordingly, paid their wages that they're supposed to get, and understanding that they're a Crow Bar, National Bar. And I believe the judges were might have to be lawyer judges, but something we'll have to take a look at and make sure that there's no conflict of interest for anybody, any of the judges that come in, and we need to hear from them what their take is on the issues from the judges, where they see things that we need to work on. All three of the enumerated powers, the judicial, legislatures, and the executive, and keeping good communication with each other. And the moving forward with our new era slate, that's what we're hoping to accomplish, all these goals. And it's good to hear from our people, the questions, and we're hopeful that adhere to all of your concerns and make sure that we can move forward, get the things, the government right. And I'd like to thank Little Bighorn College for hosting this event, this video event, and look forward to meeting you out there. And you're more than welcome to come and visit with me and share some of your ideas with me in a new era slate. Thank you.